The Enlightenment Chasers. Welcome to another episode of our podcast concerning politics. Today is September 18th of 2024, drawing very close to the election day, which is in November. In a blink, we will be at the polls and must be of effective voters, aware it is not about the parties, but who we are. We are all activists. We are all activists, campaigning to bring about political and social changes. Yet, must ask ourselves, must both changes always counteract each other? While we are busy with politics, our social norms suffer. Our two elects, our two presidential elects may be misunderstood. To my understanding, following up with the elections, they are birds of the same family, or maybe I should say they are wings of the same bird, the right and the other wing. Sometimes when we say left, people kind of relate it with negativity, but both right wings. How about that? Both are right wings of the bird because without the other, the bird cannot fly. It seems like we, the people, are confused what the two parties are presenting before us. The two parties have taken their time to draw out our misconceptions and presenting them to us. Now, us to really reflect. They are trying to give it to us indirectly. They don't want us to feel ridiculed. They are trying to give it to us with respect, like we are the ones to make the decision. And whatever decisions we make will impact who is elected. But the question is, it's not about who is being elected, but what are we going to do with what they're raising before us on both sides? Interestingly, both sides have very strong information for us, which if we are choosing one, we should be able to carry the information from the other and solve it with the other. They are both the same. They are both the same. They are wings of the same bird. Interestingly, the bird has two right wings. Very, very interesting. Traditionally, we have just embraced frustration. It's like without frustration, we cannot be humans. It's like we have to have something to wrestle about. If we wake up a day without labor, it seems like we are all dead. We have to have something that we are debating about, conflicting about. Like having joy completely, it's scary. That's the kind of life we've been living. Such that if we are just happy for 1 week, it begins to look like a trap, which is very understanding with us grown-ups. But we want to give the children a better concept of life. So our frustrations should not be transferred to the children. It should not be a generational curse. Trying to understand politics for the first time has really, really amazed me of how much I have really missed. The great enlightenment that is in politics is amazing. And if we're able to grasp that, we are able to just resolve every problem around it. We will be able to have paradise on earth right now. We'll be able to illuminate all places in the world today that are struggling. For some reason, United States of America is the miniature of the world culturally. We all relate with the United States of America all over the world. If you touch one person in America, it's like you've touched the whole world. It doesn't matter what color of race. We are the human race, which is why politics in America is very, very, very delicate and must be vigilant in making choices. I did follow up a talk show where royalty Mark Cuban had an interview with a brother concerning the last debate. He is in support of the Democratic Party. But in his conversation, what I could really hear him say more is, I'd rather go with the Party, the Republican Party. So it was amazing how he chooses both in an interesting way, such that if you are following very well, if you are a true Republican, you will hear him say, I'm a Republican. If you are a Democrat, you will hear him say he's a Democrat. The thing about being Democrat is they have Democrats, Democratic Party is for people with shallow minds. So when President Trump talks about black people, we get so we get so affected being black, coming from the black color race. I kind of understand where we are really disrupted, bringing history in. When we bring history in, we are able to disrupt our development of now. This is what the black race is struggling with. We always involve our past in a very complicated way. They always say the past does not build the future. They always say our future does not rely on our past. It does, depending on the people, right? It depends on us. If we want our past to relate with our future, we will in the right way. The only way our past can relate with our future is in the right way. We take the mistakes and make them into lessons and grow. But the lessons that we're making, is it going to affect our young generation in a complicated way or in a healthy way? Are we trying to unify the 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 color race back into into the human race, or are we trying to put an eye on every race of color? Royalty McCuban talked about his kids and why he left the Shark Tank. And he said he left the Shark Tank because of his children and because his children were grown, and made him to understand that we are now having our senses. We are no more kids to not know that we have to need you. When children are young, they don't understand the necessity of parents. They go everywhere that you send them to. If you send them to the daycare, they go there. They're excited about the world. Wherever you put them, the the environment just carries their mind away. Everywhere you put them, they're learning. So we take the advantage of the learning process of the children and try to catch one or two that we are missing. And when they are grown, we find ourselves being submerged, being tamed by them. So he says that his children are now grown and now telling him that they need him and they have to be able to carry out their own activities and he has to be there because family is important, socialization. What is political power? Political power is being able to self govern. Even though we understand political life, it's of noun is more of the governance of a country, yet this governance over a country, is the governance of a country is a practice that helps us not only in the physical life but in our spiritual being when we are done with work. It's very very amazing how by the time we start working like novice workers, we are just so not the best of us. And then at the time when we are the experts of ourselves, we find ourselves retiring. And it begins to sound weird. It begins to look weird. Like, but this is my best moment at work. Why am I instead retiring of my body? I'm getting weaker. If you look at how the presidents are even working, you would testify. Like, you expect President Biden to be at his best of political life, but his body is getting tired, meaning he's preparing to advance to the greater than the physical being. The physical being is only like a classroom that you learn and then you take it into the real world. The real world is the mind, and the mind should be of battlefield free if you really want to live of expected, of higher of riches, of higher mind. When we talk of high class and low class in the human world, it's a strategy to understand what it is when you become of battlefield free mind than a mind of a battlefield. The strategy you use to walk yourself in the physical world, it impacts your progress. And it is all written. It's amazing when you look at it. It's very interesting how you can really pick out what is really going on about life. Looking at President Trump, looking at President Biden, looking at President Obama, all are precedents of how they have traveled, and most of them are of good age. Being president, that helps us to really understand what we are aiming at this time growing up, being middle class workers, and aging into our 60s. Even when you leave from kindergarten, you begin to have these little experiences of things are getting more smarter, not harder but smarter. That if you are missing your milestone, you begin to frustrate. So it is very important not to miss your milestone. What is a milestone? The positive energy. Do not pause your positive energy with negativity. Negativity is not an energy. I know we've heard of negative energy and positive energy. Why it is said negative energy is because of how much we are so connected with the negativity than the positive energy that we are. It's more of like calling yourself the shadow instead of yourself. You rely so much on your shadows than yourself. So now, those that are of higher minds will help us to understand. Okay, if you choose to be the shadow, okay, this is you. You are the shadow. And with time, you begin to realize, no, I'm not. You begin to realize I'm not the shadow. Awareness of the weakness, seeking wellness. You can never become aware of the weakness and seek wellness without applying it on the weakness. You will reverse the weakness back to wellness. You cannot just say, oh, I've been walking around with dirt and drop it there. You have to take it to where it belongs. You have to clean it up. You have to clean up the spot. If you've been playing and it gets messy, what you have to do is clean it up, and then you will not be messy anymore. You can't just leave the spot like that. Wherever you go, that spot will always be in your mind. I should have cleaned it up. I should have cleaned it up. I should have corrected this mistake. I should have corrected this mistake. The earliest you correct the mistakes, the better. We all make mistakes, but the point is, what have we done about it? What have we done about it? Yes, you can remember everyone's past. Oh, they stole money from the bank. Oh, they have been terrible teenagers. They were smoking, they were drinking and getting drunk. They were terrible youths before becoming politicians. You can say whatever you want to say about anyone's past. But the question now is, what do we do about it? You'll be surprised our best presidents are always the ones that have had the worst of life growing up. Just the matter of preparing them has been tough, 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 tough. Not everyone wants to go to war, but our soldiers who go to war, I pray they be the highest of enlightenment when we get out, because that is pressure. That is pressure. Children will learn by pressure. They struggle with low self-esteem, and then the low self-esteem is mistaken for humble pride. which you have to give them the room to be able to reverse their low self-esteem to humble pride. And interestingly, it is easy to reverse low self-esteem to humble pride than arrogance. It takes a very hard time to reverse arrogance to humble pride. So parents who enforce low self-esteem on their children know that it is very harmful, but yet they know that they will grow and find humble pride easier than the one with arrogance. But you are not supposed to gain arrogance trying to make someone become of low self-esteem, when the best way to educate a child is for you to enable chastity. Oh my, chastity. It is very important for us to talk about chastity than abortion. It's really sad how we are emphasizing so much on abortion, the shadow of chastity, and it's just a matter of what we hold on to more. Okay, you will not even blame the political powers going on about abortion. It's really weird to bring that on the table, right? Even to talk about people eating dogs and animals. It's really weird, which is to tell us where we are at a level in the 21st century. We are not our ancestors. We are not barbaric. They were not barbaric in their time. We see them like barbaric, but at their time they were of higher mind because that was ages ago. But we of the 21st century, we call it barbaric if we are the ones doing it, right? So they were not barbaric. Well, when we say those ancestors were barbaric, what we are saying is if we do those things that we're doing now, we will be barbaric, right? Because we've had enlightenment. The higher we go, we are different. When you have 10 miles to go, if you reach six and call yourself 1 mile, that sounds foolish, right? That sounds weird. It sounds like daydreaming. You have to be awakened from your daydreaming. But when you're at the 1 mile, aiming to be at seven is beautiful, right? Everybody will applaud for you. If you are aiming to be at the 10 already when you are still at the second, beautiful. But if you're at the nine, thinking about I am at the 2 mile, that is ridiculous, right? The way we set our minds is very, very important. It's very, very important to take a look at the way we set up our minds and help the young ones to be our best. Okay, no one is better than anyone, but wherever we are on this table of whatever shape it is, say what you have. Say what you have of positivity, even if it's just a small piece, is very important of the puzzle pieces, because that one little piece missing will enable all the puzzle pieces to come back down, no matter how important the other pieces are. Without that little piece that is missing, nothing can be of expected. You'll be surprised of what we take to keep a puzzle in place. A little small plastic, not important equipment, a little small plastic, not important piece, just a little plastic, round plastic that is not even important. If it gets missing, it does not even matter. But guess what? It is what holds the puzzle pieces together. It may not be part of the picture, but just what holds the puzzle pieces together. Like I learned of the Japanese bowls, vessels. When the vase gets broken, they have to seal it, and when they seal it and put a golden seal to add more decoration. If the vessel gets broken, so when they seal it, they have to put a golden line to give it more beauty, which is what I'm trying to explain to us: the need for us to seal our weaknesses with chastity. Talking about abortion is for us, the people, to realize that the two are just like two. They're like the red and the orange light. We're waiting for the green light. You have the red light, and then you have the orange light. It could be you could say the red light, the blue light, and the green light. However you want to put it, the two always eh, warn you, and the one always tell you when to go. The green light. So this is what Republic and Democratic Party are like to us. I just hope that we are able to really be careful how we follow up with politics, because I, before I will be jumping left and right. Oh, I'm democratic. When I hear so many my family members that I love, that care about me, talking about being Democrats, I will just jump to be Democrats. When I hear the others talk about Republic, you know, I will just jump and think about Republic being famous and all that, which that is not what it is. Sometimes you even choose to put someone in a very complicated seat because you love them. Does not mean that they have to be the nominee. You have to look at the environment, the climate of a time before you endorse them. Yes, you love them so much, but are you going to put them in a heat? Like, will you put them on a hot seat because you love them so much because they are the nominee? You have to look at the weather and what is going on in the world before you put someone. People are delicate. I watched President Biden falling again today. I almost choked on my own spit. I gasped like if I was the one falling. I was so shocked. I felt like I was even the one falling. It was really, really our. I'm so glad he did well. And we really have to put people very close to the presidents to be able to hold them, to be able to oh my goodness, we really have to really focus on the way we are leading the world. The United States of America is the miniature of culture of the world. Self-right. When we are asking for self-right, we should be very vigilant on what we are legalizing and what we are not legalizing, what is legal, what is illegal. Self-right does not just come with just our body. It is our world. You say we can never all agree on one thing. We can if we choose chastity. Let's talk more on chastity than abortion. It's just really sad because when we talk about abortion, it's like we are humiliating children. It's like ignoring children. I really begin to be so scared of how we women are about to talk about it, not because we don't care about our children, but because we want to make a point, because we're angry, we begin to make our points confusingly. No woman wants to hurt their baby. No woman wants to hurt anyone. We love children, but are we really going to be having our best in the time of complications? What is having children when we are trying to survive in a world where we are so divided? We are activists. Therefore, there is war going on, our divisions. The more we divide, the more we war each other, and there is need for a governing body on top of us. We may say, what is the point of even having politics? We all can just be individuals. It's impossible to be individuals if we are still divided. The more we multiply, we begin to find somebody to be able to bring us all together like one. We always want to have a center. If you look at the compass, no matter how much points to which the center is going to, we must always have a center where we all meet. Parenthood and healthcare is what I just addressed for the need of chastity. Because when I read on a board, on a sign that said abortion is healthcare, I was like, my heart went, I was like, wait a minute. I have had children. I know what abortion is like. Okay, I'm a woman. Chastity is healthcare, not abortion is healthcare. I understand they're trying to say when someone has struggles with abortion, healthcare should take care of them. Is it? Are you taking care of them or the baby? Are you trying to like? Do you got rid of the baby because the baby is not important? You got rid of the baby because you don't want the baby to get hurt in this world? Was it a rape? Was it a mistake? Whatever it is, how do we start? We have to start from somewhere. We can't just do everything at once, but we have to start initiating something in this life that the young can grow. Every seed grows. It's just to apply the right seed. You would some people plant trees, some plant seeds, but every seed grows. A seedling or a seed, everything grows. Everything. If you see one word, it grows. If it goes negatively, it will return back positively if it was for positive reason. But if it goes out negatively, somebody will convert it somewhere positively. Everything will end positively at the end of the day. Everything will end positively because this physical life does not last. Negativity will never last. The picker never lasts. We will always end with the right, with the nutritive, the healthy. So whatever we're doing right now, I'm pleading while advancing to this pose that we should really be of the right mind, being the people. The self-right is the positivity. Negativity does not exist. Positivity is the only ability to be of positive energy. Negativity must become positivity and positivity back to positive energy. There is no negative energy. Positivity exists because there's negativity. For negativity must reverse to positivity and positivity back to positive energy, the only energy. I really hope that this little addition onto our journey to the poles really helps us to reflect being the people of the world, not just of America, but of the world, because our planting of this seed called the United States of America is what will impact our world. And we have seen it not once, not twice, but over and over again of how the United States of America is impacting the whole world and must be only of positivity. The negativity will never last, but only the positivity. Thank you all for listening and stay tuned for next Wednesday. Peace steals the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking onto perfect peace.